Hari Om friends, we learned different basic concepts of yoga, particularly the Panchakosha, Panchapran, Shanchakra. These are something different than what we practice as asana, pranayama and meditation and all. But these are also very important concepts. Important for yoga, important for the personality development, important for the evolution, total evolution, and plus important for therapeutic aspect also. Now we will come to our standard practices of asana, pranayama, cleansing practices, meditation and so on. And we will see how they are used, how they are useful in therapy. So these are the basic techniques which you already know, which we can make use of during the use of therapy. So we can call these as medicines. These are our medicines. We just make the different combinations and permutations to get over the physical problems. There may be the asanas. There are thousands of asanas are there. So we have to be selective, of course, which are good, which are not good and all that. So we will discuss all that. Then there are Shat Karmas, yes, Shat Chakras, these are Shat Karmas, which are cleansing practices. But these you know very well. Neti, Vaman, Shankha Prakshalan and so on. So these techniques are also useful from therapy point of view. Then different pranayamas, maybe with or maybe without kumbhak also. You can make use of these different pranayamas because every pranayama has got different result, different effect. So considering the effect which we expect, we can select pranayama. Then the list is dharana, dhyan, that is concentration of mind. So we can use technique of concentration on particular organ which is defective and so on. Yoga Nidra is a relaxative technique and we learned that it is a psychotherapy also. So definitely we can make use of this technique for many of the diseases, rather I can say all diseases. Omkar is also a wonderful and basic technique explained in yoga. Omkar has got tremendous powers. And we can utilize those powers by chanting of Omkar. So we can divert this total source of energy for the betterment of the physical health. The chakras which we have already learned. So these are our medicines, and we can make use of these medicines for the patients to get the cure. So we will learn one by one. The first is asana, which is a very common yoga technique. Most of the people knows some of the asanas. And you are a yoga teacher, so you know many of the asanas and you know how to teach, that is also important. So you know asanas, you know how to teach. So much part is over, but the important part is how to select the asanas. And in connection with that, how to teach the asanas to the patient. You may be surprised to listen this. That you already become a teacher, so you know how to teach. But still I am saying that I want to explain in detail how to teach the asanas. Yes, that is very important aspect. And that's a new concept rather, which you need to understand. Which is useful for common practice of asanas as well as for the patients also. I can say asanas can be practiced on different levels or different means, different ways. So there are many ways and means how to practice asana. Suppose if you take one asana, maybe Bhujangasana. So now I am going to say that you can practice Bhujangasana at 6 different levels. And at different level you are going to get a different result. And which is more important for the patient. So if you select the proper asana for a particular disease, but if you don't select the proper level of practice, and if you teach on some different level than required for the patient, then patient is not going to get the results. That is what has happened in many cases. There are a number of books are available, and every book gives the list of asanas for a particular disease. It's okay, I don't think that it is wrong. But it is not mentioned that on which level that particular asana is to be practiced. If the correct selection of asana but not proper selection of level, then that will have no result for the patients. The patient says, I am doing these asanas which are mentioned on particular mind disease, in particular book I am doing since years together and I am not getting the result. Because it's not that the selection is wrong, but it's the exact level of asana which is selected is not proper. So we must understand how to teach asanas on which level. I'll just mention how the different levels exist. And definitely this total theory has got support of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So I am not talking of my own, I am just referring Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and specifically categorizing the different levels, which are very useful for the patients. So we'll start with 0 level. It's surprising, we start with first level now. I am starting with 0 level. Because this first level is not yogic level. It is not suitable for yoga, but it can be practiced. It is an asana. Asana is a posture. It's a posture. But practice in some different way, which is just like exercise and not just like asana. Or not just like yoga. So this 0 level is practicing the asana with fast movement and without steadiness. So just do it with fast speed. Maybe 10 asanas in 5 minutes. You may find in certain competitions the asanas are practiced like that. I don't accept this as a yogic way of practicing asana. Asana is a posture mentioned in yoga book, but the practicing level is not yogic. So I given it number 0. Not even 1. So it is an exercise. If you do some with fast speed, whatever you do with fast speed is exercise. So we may call this as asana as exercise. It is level 0, it is non-yogic level, but still it can be used in certain diseases or certain health problems. Yes, we can use it as it is giving the results, so no harm in using this technique. It may be non-yogic technique, but it is useful. So we can make use of this technique. Then start the yogic ways to practice. The level 1, first level, where we can make the very slow movements and no steadiness. We will add one more point to this. Level 2 will practice the asana slow movements, but will make asana steady for certain period. Level 3, the slow movements are there, the steadiness is there, but then we relax the muscles, additional 1 point. So we are going to add one more point, as mentioned by Patanjali. Patanjali says Tirasukamasnam, steady and comfortable posture is asana. And add Prayatna Shaitilya, Ananta Samapattilya. So these points I am going to add. So level 3 is slow movement, steadiness and relaxation of muscles. That is Prayatna Shaitilya. The level 4, slow movements are there, steadiness is there, relaxation is there. But in addition, concentration of mind on certain organ of the body which is defective. So this is directly connecting with the defective organ, that is disease. And level 5, the ultimate level of asana, the highest level of asana, the topmost level of asana. The slow movement is there, steadiness is there, relaxation is there, but concentration of mind is not on any body organ, but it is on the infinity. As explained by Patanjali, Ananta Samapatti. So these are the different 6 levels. First is 0 plus 5 levels. 0 is non-yogic level and the 5 are the yogic levels. And they are of course one above the other. Advanced levels are there. The beginner may practice asana at level 1. After certain days of practice, one can go to level 2, then one can go to level 3, 4 and 5. That's all. As a healthy person also, if you want to practice asanas, you have to practice in this particular sequence. And you must try to achieve higher and higher level of practice. So one asana can be practiced on all these 6 levels. And now the question arises, which level we have to select for a particular patient? So first you have to select asana for particular disease. And then you have to select particular level for that particular asana for the patient himself. So that is how we have to look to the different aspects of asanas. So we will learn each and every level one by one. We will understand how it is to be used. Every level is useful for certain diseases. Some diseases we can practice the asana maybe for level 1, maybe for level 0 also. Some asanas maybe for level 2, level 3 also. So it is not that there must be one level of all the asanas for a particular patient. It may vary. For a particular patient, some asanas can be practiced on level 1, some asanas can be practiced on level 2, some asanas can be practiced on level 3 and so on. So all this combination, permutation is there, and that is where you have to think of the combination and permutation which is most suitable for the patient, so that you will get the results very fast. If you don't select properly, you may get the results very late or you may not get the results at all. So see, very useful and important aspect is. So let us see now about 0 level, non-yogic level. Asanas are not practiced in yoga like this. But still, as a therapeutic aspect, we can get some results of this 0 level. So we can use. Now this level means you have to do fast movements by doing asanas. So do the fast movement, achieve the position and immediately release the position with fast movement. This is the technique used in this level, and that is called level 0. So that is, we can call it as an exercise. And in exercise, different muscles will be exercised. They have to do fast movement. So automatically they will be toned up for the fast movement. That is what is happening in exercise. So this also, asanas also is type of exercise. If you practice in such a way, then you will not practice yoga asanas. We can call it, they are practicing exercise asanas. Asana is not exercise, but still here it can be practiced, so it can be used also. So this will strengthen the muscles. As usual, this is the advantage of exercise. So you can get the advantage of exercise while practicing these asanas. So your muscles can be strong enough. Then it will load the joints also, because when you are making fast movements, the joint all these muscles and ligaments and lubrication of the joint, everything is to be managed with fast speed. So definitely it will be brought to the proper line. So it is useful, no doubt. As exercise is useful, these asanas are also useful as yoga exercises. But this will not yield the results mentioned by Patanjali because it is non-yogic level. Okay, what is the result with fast movement? As far as our therapy is concerned, we can improve the strength of the muscle, we can improve the strength of the joint if it is healthy. If muscle is weak, joint is weak, then fast movement will create more trouble. So the problems will increase, patient will be more disturbed. But if health is good, joints are good, muscles are good, then this will be helpful. In what sense? It can burn the fat. It is a very important aspect. When you do exercise, the fat stored in the body is utilized. That is what is called burning of fat. So burning of fat is definitely possible with any exercise. So it can be possible with this exercise of asanas also. So here we need the result as burning of fat, then we can utilize this technique, and which is in particular we can say obesity problems. If the person is obese, he needs to reduce the weight. Reducing the weight means burning the fat. So he needs the exercise. But he must have a proper health. His joints and muscles must be strong enough to do the exercise. But then we can teach something with fast speed. And that something is sun salutation, the best solution. So we teach this sun salutation with fast speed. Now you know our normal speed is maybe 1 minute a round. Sun salutation is a round of 10 or 12 positions. Normally we complete in 1 minute. But in this case, we have to speed up and we have to complete the round in 15 seconds. So 4 rounds a minute. 8 minutes, 32 rounds. And followed by 2 minutes shavasana. This is the prescription which we recommend for obesity reduction. Of course, it will take some time to achieve the target. But we will start with fast speed. We will start with slow speed in the beginning. But slowly, step by step, we will increase the speed 4 times than the normal. So we ask them to practice 32 rounds in 8 minutes. And then we followed by 2 minutes shavasana. It's a 10-minute program giving very good effect of burning of fat and ultimately reducing the weight. Secondly, we can use our preparatory movements. We do the preparatory movements also with very slow speed in yoga class. But for this obesity class, we have to teach preparatory movements also with fast speed. And fast speed 4 times than the normal. Our normal speed is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our normal speed. When you want to multiply the speed 4 times, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this way. And basically the preparatory movements, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 and 10. That's all. So these preparatory movements we can teach with speed 4 times than the normal. So all this is 0 level practice, I can say. It is very useful. You have already included these 2 speedy movements in obesity reduction program of yoga. We call it yoga program because preparatory movement and sun salutation is yoga. But we are teaching in fast speed like exercise to get the proper result. So this is how we can manage. If you teach with slow speed, It will not be useful for burning of fat, which we expect for the obesity reduction program. Of course, the other asanas we are not going to teach with fast speed. They have to be taught in a different level that we'll see now. So this is how the level 0 works. Wherever you need to burn the fat or you need some effect of exercise, then you have to ask them to do with the fast speed. Let us go to the next level. Level 1. That is a yogic level. Means you have to make very, very slow movements. But it is the first level only. So you have to achieve the position of asana. Whatever the asana is, that you have to select as per the disease. I am not talking of that. But whatever the asana is, you ask the patient to attain the particular posture of the asana with very slow movement. And of course, immediately release the posture with very slow movement or very, very slow movement. But there is no maintenance of time. You need not maintain the posture for a certain period, maybe for half a minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. No, it is not like that. That is level 1. So, first step of yogic way of practicing asanas. Now, where this type of movements are effective, particularly the arthritis problem. You know, arthritis is a problem of joints. All joints are painful and joints are taking part in movement. When you make movement, the joints are moving and joints are painful. So arthritis patients, they have got all movements with very painful. So they don't make any movement. And by not making the movement, the problem becomes more complicated. And the condition becomes more and more and more serious, and finally the all movements stop. That is a very serious stage of arthritis, which has no remedy in any therapy. But at least, you know, in the beginning stage, when an arthritis patient comes to us, they need to make the movements. But movements are painful. So in that case, very slow movement, a yogic way, is very useful. Not only useful but effective. Because arthritis patient needs the movement of the joints, but they can't do it because it is painful. But if you do it with very slow speed, they can do without pain. Same case with the frozen shoulder. The shoulder, something is frozen, some movement of the shoulders is also painful. Or even the weak joints. So in all these cases, movement is essential but not fast. Very, very slow. Otherwise there will be pain. To avoid pain and achieve the movement with very slow speed in the yogic way is very essential, very effective for such patients. So definitely we can use this level of asanas for these people. Maybe arthritis people, frozen shoulder or joint pains, or even the weak persons whose muscles are weak. There is no pain in the joint, but the muscles are very weak. Then they cannot do with fast speed, they cannot maintain the asana, so they can do with slow speed only, which is more comfortable. As Patanjali says, steady and comfortable posture in asana. So definitely this type of asanas is more useful for such people. So this type of movements is improving the blood circulation to different muscles and joints, because there is movement in muscle and joints, so they will ask for more blood and the body will supply more blood to them. And when more blood is supplied to the muscles and joints and all of those components, they will get proper nutrition. Yes, nutrition is supplied through the blood only. They will get the proper glucose, they will get the proper oxygen, So there will be proper generation of energy, proper maintenance of the work, and proper functioning of the work. So just see, improving blood supply is doing all so many things, and so many things are defective. That is why the problem is there. So proper blood supply, you can say more blood supply, which is possible with slow movements in different asanas. They will improve the muscles, ligaments, joints, and all those components. Very effective, which is needed actually. So definitely asanas practicing on level 1 are also effective for some of the patients. So you have to just note, find out what is the condition of a patient, and then you can recommend on level 1. So even if there is no maintenance of time, still we can make use of this technique. Now I think we will start understanding properly how we have to find out particular level of practicing asanas for the patients. Let us go to the next level, level 2. In this level, you have to make a very slow movement as level 1. But you have to maintain the asana posture for certain period. That may start from 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. Step by step, you can start maintaining the asana posture for certain period. So that becomes level 2. Level 1, there is no maintenance for a certain period, but level 2, there is a maintenance for a certain period. Now, in asana level 2, we are utilizing the technique of level 1 itself. So there is all advantages of level 1, which I have already explained, they are there in level 2 also. So I need not repeat all those things. You just remember the same advantages will be there, but there will be additional advantage of maintenance of asana for certain time. Now we are, just imagine we are performing asana and you want to achieve certain posture. So you are achieving that certain posture with very slow movements. So there is no pain in the joint and muscles and ligaments. Then you attain a posture. But when you attain a posture, of course some muscles are stretched, some muscles are compressed. Because of the movement, it has to be there. But this contracting and stretching of muscles will improve the blood supply. To, of course, muscles and joints definitely it will include. But you see, for every posture and for every movement, there are some internal organs which are also connected with that posture. That depends on selection of asanas. So we will select the asanas according to that. But when the asana is maintained, there is no movement. If you achieve a certain posture with certain movement, okay. But when you maintain the posture, there is no movement. So because of the movement, and of course you keep the muscles stretched or contracted, because you are holding the posture as it is. So there is a stretch and contraction in the muscle, which definitely will demand more blood supply. So definitely blood supply will be more as in level 1. But as it is maintained, there is no continuous movement. So the excess blood supply in that direction of the particular muscle and joints, it will be diverted to the inner organs also, which are involving in that movement. Our body is one piece body. Even though different organs are there, they are all perfectly aligned and adjusted and fixed in a particular format. So they are all, you can say, jammed together There is no free space in our body. The organs are perfectly designed in a particular shape, so they adjust themselves totally in a very small space of body. So when you make this steady position, but muscles are stretched or compressed, whatever it is, that will depend on the position. So excess blood supply will be there for the joints, muscles, ligaments, and as well as it will be there for these organs which are concerned with a particular movement. So if you select for a particular disease, particular asana, so that the particular inside organ also can get the proper blood supply. And as I explained you the effect of blood supply, because blood is supplying glucose, oxygen and all nutrients. Whatever food we take, it is digested and the required elements are absorbed in the blood. Carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, salts, all they are in the blood only. So blood only is supplying all these nutrients to each and every cell of the body. So blood supply increases, it will supply all these nutrients also to the cells of the inner organ as well as the muscles and joints. So the inner organ will get proper nutrition, proper glucose, proper oxygen, and when glucose oxygen is there, that cells will get proper energy also. So they will function properly. So maintenance of asana for a certain period will definitely improve the functioning of the internal organs concerned with that particular portion. But that is possible when we maintain it for a certain period. If we don't maintain, then that is not possible. So this is level 2. Let us go for level 3. Level 3 is the advanced stage of level 2. So definitely the advantages of level 1 and 2 are already there in level 3. Because you perform in the same way. You practice the asana with very slow movement, you maintain for a certain period. So you get the advantage of level 1 and 2 also. But there are some additional advantage of level 3 where we teach to relax the skeletal muscles. That is the additional point which we have to add in level 3. And as it is mentioned by Patanjali, Prayatna Shaitilya. The meaning of Prayatna Shaitilya is same, that you have to relax the skeletal muscles with some efforts. You have to do some efforts. You take some care to relaxing the muscles. It's not automatic. Don't just say, I relax the muscles. They will not be relaxed. So you have to pay attention to each and every muscle with your mind and instruct the muscles to relax properly. Each and every muscle. That's what we do in Yoga Nidra. You may be remembering. The instructions are given that look to your right hand thumb, relax the muscles, then relax the index finger muscles, relax the middle finger muscles, and so on throughout the body. So likewise, you have to relax the muscles of your body during the position of asana. Because you see asana, attending asana position with slow speed, maintain for some time, and then you start relaxing. Now this relaxation is skeletal muscles. You are relaxing the stretch and compression in skeletal muscles, but not changing the position. Position is same. Asana posture is maintained as it is without changing the position. So there is a stress, that is stretch and compression in different muscles. But now you start relaxing, removing the stretch and compression in different muscles, but not changing the position. Then definitely this will divert the stretch to inner organs which are connected with that particular posture or particular asana. So that inner organs will get stretched and compressed. Because stretching compression is there. Originally it was a skeletal muscles connected with all skeletals and bones. But now you are relaxing all those. But but not changing position. So this stretch and compression will be transferred to inner muscles which are nearby to that particular posture. And these inner muscles, these are organs, they are also made up of muscles. So they get stretched and compressed. And when they are getting stretched and compressed, there will be little movement which otherwise is not possible at all. Because our design of the body and different organs and muscles is developed in such a way that stretch and strain coming on the external muscles doesn't have any effect on internal muscles in normal condition. But in this particular condition, where we attend certain posture and relax all the muscles, then all this stretch and compression is diverted towards inside. We can call it second line. First line is all skeletal muscles. Second line is all internal organs. So these organs get stretched and compressed. So they develop their working condition. Because when they are moved to some extent, little movement is there. But when they are moved to some extent, definitely the cells become more alert and they start functioning better. That is what the experience also is. So it's a very typical phenomena explained by Patanjali under the word Prayatna Shaitilya. And if we implement in different positions, we are definitely getting the very good results. I can give you an example of a case, diabetic case, very common example. Now diabetes, what is the problem? It is not that only the sugar level is high. The basic problem for diabetic person is insulin level is not proper. See, insulin is needed for pushing up the glucose in the cells. So if insulin is there, then this glucose is provided to the cells. If insulin is not there, the glucose is not provided. It is there in the blood, but it is not provided to the cells. So cells don't get insulin, so they don't get glucose. And when the glucose is not there, they don't get energy, so they can't survive, they can't work. That is the major problem of diabetes. So insulin is generated by the beta cells in the pancreas. So we must select the asana which has got the effect on pancreas, considering the anatomy. Pancreas is located just below the diaphragm, in the duodenal loop of small intestine, just after stomach. So let us say we select asana Ardha Matsyendrasana, that is the best asana for diabetic person. So you take a position, you know how to do it and all that. With slow speed, you maintain for a certain period, then you relax all the muscles. Now when the muscles are relaxed, but the position is not changed, the stretch and compression will be diverted to inner organ, that is on pancreas. So the beta cells will get stretched and compressed, and definitely because of this movement, they will start functioning better. They will start generating proper insulin. And proper insulin is there, then the whole body will get proper glucose, and that will overcome the problem. So for diabetic patient, this asana must be practiced on level 3 and of course level 4 also I am talking about afterwards. If the patients practice Ardha Matsyendrasana, same asana, on level 1 and 2, then there is no result. It happens, people are practicing Ardha Matsyendrasana many years together, they say we don't get any result. But they are practicing on level 1 and 2. They should practice on level 3 and 4. Then only they will get the result. So this is a very crucial point which you should note. This is for all asanas and all diseases. I give only one example, but for every asana is important. So when we will discuss the different diseases, I will definitely give you the list of asanas which are suitable and good for particular disease. But at the same time, I will mention the same thing, that they should practice this particular asanas on particular level only. Then only we will get the result. Otherwise, no result. So this typical action of relaxation is very, very important. And we have to give definitely credit to Patanjali. He has already mentioned that you have to practice the asana with Prayatna Shaitilya. So we can make use of this technique. in different diseases. So let us go to the level 4, still advanced level. Here you have to practice the asana, of course, with level 1, 2, 3 and 4 in those steps. That means you have to make very slow movements, attain a particular posture, maintain it for some time, and during that relax all the muscles of your body. So this is level 3. And now when you are relaxed fully, then you concentrate your mind not on the body but a particular organ of your body which is defective. As you have attended slow movements, maintain for some time, relaxing the muscles, so definitely you are going to get the results which are possible with level 1, 2, 3. So level 4 asanas, you are going to get the results of level 1, 2, 3, which I already discussed. I don't repeat all that. But there is some additional advantage for the asana to practice on level 4. And now in level 4, you have to concentrate the mind on a particular organ. When concentrating the mind on a particular organ, then we are providing the mental energy. See, this is also a very interesting concept of mental energy. Physical energy we know, but we know mind is controlling the whole body. We are seeing that mind is controlling prana, prana is controlling brain, and brain is controlling the whole body. So mind is the ultimate controller. Of course, mind is controlled by soul again. There is another part of it. But let us start with the mind itself. So mind has tremendous power. Mind has got tremendous speed also. It can move with speed, much speeder than the light also. So mind has got tremendous speed, mind has got tremendous power, and mind is connected with the body. So mind can do anything in the body. It can improve, it can disturb. It has got positive effect, it has got negative effect. It has got constructive results, destructive results. So having lot of power, mind has got both the results. So it is how we utilize this mind for the improvement of the function of different organs. Actually, body is connected with mind, so every organ also is connected with mind. But because mind is very unstable, mind moves everywhere. We know the experience, mind is very unstable and uncontrollable. And main aim of yoga is to control the functions of mind on the primary level. And ultimately it is merging Atman with Paramatman. But at the beginning, yoga is there to control the functions of mind. So we can make use of this technique as a therapy part. So we'll ask the patient to concentrate his mind on his own organ which is defective, which is faulty, which is not working properly. Now when mind is concentrating, definitely its energy also is concentrated. And we concentrate in the energy, it gives very good results. You know the sunlight, its temperature is not so much. With the sunlight, normally paper cannot be burned. But if you use lens which concentrates the sunlight and points at a vertical small place, concentrated in a point, there is normal experience when you use the big lens in sunlight. You find that all rays are concentrated at one point. And if you hold one piece of paper in that point, center point, it will start burning. That means the concentration of sunlight at a point can develop the heat which can burn the paper. But if there is no lens, no concentration, you can hold the paper at a place hours together, nothing will happen. It will just become warm. It will not burn. So this is the effect of concentration of sun rays. Similar is the mind rays also. If you concentrate the mind on a particular organ, then definitely mind will provide concentrated more energy to the particular organ. And there is always a connection with mind for every organ. So if you provide concentrated energy to the particular organ, it will definitely work better. It will improve its function. So we can provide mental energy to that organ in the position of asana. So we are doing everything all together. That is a level 4 is very ideal level for the any therapy part of it, for a particular asana. That means we are doing very slow movements. We are maintaining the posture, so that will improve the blood supply to the muscles, joints, as well as blood supply to the internal organs concerned with the posture. Then we relax the muscles, level 3. So the internal organs will be getting some stretch and compression. So little movement in that sense. So cell will start working better. Plus we are providing mental energy in a concentrated form. So it will get more energy. So definitely development is fast and guaranteed. But for this, you must be able to teach the patient about a particular disease, now the organ which is responsible for a particular disease, and where is the organ, how is this position, this picture. So you have to show all anatomy and physiology of that particular organ. Suppose considering the same case of diabetes. Then for diabetes, I already explained that pancreas is responsible for diabetes. So you have to explain the patient about the situation of pancreas. So first explain what is diabetes, then what is the cause of diabetes, that insulin is improper, insulin is generated by beta cells in pancreas. So where is the pancreas, how is the pancreas, you show the anatomy and everything. In addition, you show him the position of pancreas on his or her own body, externally of course. So it is just below the diaphragm. So the patient will know exactly what is the role of pancreas in diabetes, that it is not functioning well. Now he will know what is pancreas, how it is there, what is its color, shape and everything, and where the pancreas is there in his own body. Then we can ask him, or her of course, to concentrate on his or her own pancreas in the asana position, say for the Ardha Matsyasana, because Ardha Matsyasana is very good for diabetes. We are teaching Ardha Matsyasana. So we will explain the whole thing and then we will teach, of course step by step, not on the first day. Maybe on the 10-15 days. So the patient will practice Ardha Matsyasana with slow speed. He will maintain the asana for a long time. During the maintenance, he will relax all the muscles, level 3. He will get that advantage plus, and plus he will concentrate his mind on his own pancreas. So he level 4. So he will get the advantages of level 1, 2, 3, 4 all. And definitely that is going to improve the function of pancreas. If he is not practicing to that level, he is practicing maybe at level 1, just doing asana and releasing. Maybe doing slowly. Just attaining posture, releasing posture, not doing any other thing. So you're not going to get the results. Even if he continues the practice of Ardha Matsirasana for years together, he is not going to get the result. If he practices on level 4, he can get a even result within 15 days also. So such a vast difference is there. That is why this point is very important. And that is why I am just insisting more and more for these different levels to understand and to teach also. If there is a heart problem, then you are asked to concentrate on the heart. So likewise, you have to explain. So that means you have to study the disease and the concept organ first. Then you have to study the anatomy and physiology of everything perfectly. And then you have to teach. You should learn the whole thing, but you teach whatever is required to the patient. Get it confirmed that patient understood everything properly. And then you recommend, so he can practice all the asanas, not only one. For diabetes, we are teaching maybe 10-15 asanas. So practicing all 10-15 asanas, you should practice on level 4. For every asana, you should focus his mind on this pancreas. Every asana. So in every position, you will get additional energy, mental energy. And pancreas will start functioning better. So we will select the asanas which are connected with the pancreas itself. And then we select the level, that is level 4. And then we teach accordingly. Then the patient will practice and then you will get the results. So this is a long way to understand. But once you understand each and everything, it becomes very simple. Just to convince the patient and get the practice done. If some liver problem is there, you can ask to concentrate your mind on liver. Likewise, everything is to be selected. Let us understand level 5. Actually, level 5 is not expected for any patient. This to be practice for high level practice of a yoga practitioner to go on higher and higher level of asanas, to reach advanced targets of yoga and all. But as we are understanding all this level, we will understand this level also. We may not use this level for any patient, definitely not. In this level, definitely the slow movements are there, steadiness is there, relaxation is there, everything is there, and concentration also is there, but concentration is not on a particular organ, but it is concentration on the infinity. Infinity is a concept. You can say it's a energy and knowledge source which is controlling the whole multi-universe. That is a basic concept of God or Ishwar or Allah, whatever you call it, different names. So you have to concentrate on that. There is a vast difference in first 4 level and this 5th level. First 4 level, our mind is focused on the body itself. Maybe external body, external muscles, internal organs and all that. Fully concentrated on the body. But in this case, you have to get detached from the body. Take your mind out of your body. Because body is already in a particular posture and totally relaxed. So the presence of mind is not required there. So take your mind away from the body. And away means away to the infinity. To start with, you can focus your mind maybe on the sky. The sky is infinite. Or maybe on the ocean. Yeah, infinite things are there. Such infinite things you concentrate your mind. And finally you focus your mind on the concept of Ishwar as explained in the terms of yoga. So where your mind is getting disconnected from the body, it's a very important point. Up till now it was totally focused on the body, and now it is totally disconnected from the body. This can be possible with long-term practice. It's not so easy. One has to practice different asanas for a long period, maybe years together. And there are some different techniques also to learn, to master. I cannot explain this in this lecture, and that is not required also. That is to be taught on very high level practice. But one can attain this level, but where he has to maintain the asana posture maybe for minimum 30 minutes. It may be impossible right now for you also. But if you learn step by step, one can reach to the level and maintain the asana posture. May not be all asanas, but many of the asanas for at least 30 minutes. Then we can try level 5. That's discovering the mind from the body and taking the mind to the infinity. And if you practice asana in such a way, it means you have to practice one asana every day. Because you have to maintain for 30 minutes. So you cannot practice 3-4 asanas in a day. That much time also is not happening. But at least you can practice one asana every day with this level 5. Then definitely what Patanjali says, result about asanas, one can easily achieve. And that result is Tattva Dvandvanabhi Hata. That you go beyond dualities. Dualities of the life, particularly the mental dualities, likes and dislike, have and don't have, want and don't have. These are the mental dualities which are disturbing our life. So we can go beyond dualities. These dualities will not affect you. If you reach to such a level of practicing asanas, these dualities will not affect you. You will be away from all this. You will be away from likes and dislikes, wants and don't want, and have and don't have. You will behave in a similar way, very comfortable. No disturbance. Of course, that is the result given by Patanjali, and that is a technique as Ananta Samapatti. So this technique of level 5, we call it Ananta Samapatti. Level 4 is also Samapatti, but not Ananta. Samapatti towards some organs of the body, which we need for the patients. But Ananta is infinity. It's a concept of Ishvara. So taking the mind towards that is definitely the final aim and target of asanas, and which yields the result of going beyond dualities. This is all about different levels of asanas. I'll just have some more points. The general effects of asanas. Of course, every asana has got different results also. The different asanas affect the different organs of the body, but for which you must know the perfect anatomy. Depending on the posture, you can focus on particular organ also. So these asanas reduce the muscular spasms and tensions, because we are using the muscles, maybe with the slow speed, maintenance, relaxation, so everything is concerned with the muscles. So all these operations of the muscles, they will develop the proper tuning and proper toning of muscles. So there won't be any problem of spasm and tension for the muscles, which we can overcome with this. Then asanas are correcting the postural problems. Some postural problems can definitely create, particularly the spine problems. But we can correct those problems for the spine as well as posture also with particular asanas. Then we can establish the muscular balance, because we are dealing with all muscles in asanas. So definitely the muscular balance is also important, because every our action, every our movement is a muscular balance only. Because some muscles are contracting, some are expanding. So we must establish the balance, equilibrium between them. And then only everything we can do properly. If you maintain the perfect equilibrium, you can do a very skillful job also. Doing very skillful job also, you need to control your muscles. Maybe painting, maybe some sports. So all muscular balance is required. That we can definitely achieve with these asanas. And regeneration of tissue cells. You see, many of the cells, particularly muscles, they die after some time and new cells take place. So this process is a continuous process going on in the body throughout the life. This is what we call it regenerative process. So this can be speeded up with asanas because we deal with all muscles. So definitely this regenerative process also can be speeded up. And normalization of asanas. You see, regular yoga is a process of normalization, which I already explained to you. So in this case also, asanas also will normalize many things in our body. So these are the general effects, maybe for any asana, whatever asana you choose for the particular patient, is going to get these general results, plus specific results for the specific asana, and more specific result for more specific level of practicing the asana. So if you understand this total concept of practicing asanas on different levels, then you will be definitely able to select not only the asanas but the proper levels of practicing asana, and that will definitely give you better results in shorter period. So, Hari Om.
त्याचं काही नाही.
आसनासाठी बघते आणि गेले असं सगळं आलं त्याच्या.
बटन कुठे गेलं ते बघते.
ऑन ऑफ दिसत.
हेच दिसते, हेच बटन आहे काहीतरी ऑन ऑफ. स्टार्ट स्टॉप.